While Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever are currently winning, Angel and the Chicago Sky are preparing to stir things up with her as their next game draws near. What is expected of Caitlin Clark is that she will be fantastic and not the Rookie of the Year, which is surprising to me because Angel Reese was the best player on the team that won a national championship in college. This is a pointless argument because Caitlin Clark is the Rookie of the Year, and just 6 days later they will be traveling to Chicago for a matchup against Angel Reese. It's not like she appeared out of nowhere and has been a really consistent player. She has a bullseye on her back every single game, so you must stop her. I don't think you look at Chicago and go, boy, if we stop Angel Reese, we're going to win, and that's why this is silly. The WNBA and its entirety are really cooking right now, and it's growing, and there is a lot of appropriate attention on Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. They have a packed schedule leading up to Caitlin's arrival, and their goal isn't just to sell more tickets. They're aiming to completely enhance the game experience. Plans to renovate their basketball court and host a themed game for this matchup are impressive. Drew 2's Feverstorm game from the previous weekend. 2 million viewers, which is enormous. The WNBA has 18 games this season with an average viewership of over 1 million, and 16 of those 18 have featured Caitlin Clark. This is undoubtedly something to look forward to, and rumors are that Chicago will host its first ever Barbie the Rookie. Who has had the biggest impact on their team is unquestionably Caitlin Clark, who leads in all statistical categories as a rookie minus rebounds. Of course, Angel Reese is averaging a double-double, but the impact on the team is what we are talking about again at the game night on August 30th, 2024, in honor of women in sport. There has been much talk about Caitlin Clark leading the Chicago Sky to the playoffs as a rookie for the first time since 2016. Since they are the team's leader, I believe that if this is even an attempt to split the discussion, it might as well be, hey, you're a rookie. Here's an award. You're also a rookie. Here's just an award for being a rookie. You make a valid point, though. And it does seem a little odd that the Chicago Sky are suddenly focusing on women in sports for this particular game. Against the Indiana Fever, C. Clark is dominating this league, and every time she does something amazing, it makes it even more foolish to have left her on the Olympic team. I was watching the W return over the weekend, and I can tell you how amazing she is. She's already broken the rookie assist record, and she's better than the month off that Team USA gave her. By the way, I was wondering how they would have handled the fact that they were in danger during the gold medal game. It seems like they are attempting to use this angle to divert attention from the true problems facing their own team. Let's face it, the WNBA's decision to hold this event on the same night as Caitlin Clark's debut is telling. I'm talking about players, coaches, and referees, and they are all jealous of Caitlin Clark. If they really cared about supporting women in all sports, they could have picked any other game, but the timing of this one is just too convenient. It's almost like they're trying to take some of the attention away from the Fever and their team. Yes, they are making a big deal out of Caitlin Clark. Skylar Dinn is bumping her, their girls are whining on the bench, and the referees are getting involved. You are entirely correct, Rising Star, that the Sky's true motivation is to increase their ticket sales and viewership. Angel Reese's popularity has disappointed them because the excitement surrounding her has subsided a little. The Sky are just not winning enough games to keep their fans interested. But the Fever are thriving because they have a fantastic player in Caitlin Clark, and they are winning games. I believe that this was the case throughout the league. Simply a new setting for her, and now she's figured it out, and that's Caitlin. No, it's not about Caitlin feeling like she's playing, but I don't think the way people play her has changed. I think she's improved over the season, as she was expected to do. I'm just talking about the fact that, despite everything, you haven't even heard anyone mention the excessive physicality and other things anymore because she's giving that back now. They're going to point it out directly because it keeps their ticket sales and viewership strong while the Sky are having trouble filling their arenas and their viewership numbers are declining. I know she figured it out, but even though she gets hit and walks away, she doesn't make a big deal about it because she's accustomed to it now. Caitlin, if you're going to break a record to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time. That player said, well, if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, then Caitlin should have broken that record in 4 years. But there's a CO year, and then another year. You know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So, is it really a broken record? Yes. That will go in the record books because Caitlin Clark is the all-time whatever it is, and I'm not even sure what the number is, but that's how it will be. And I don't think it should be. Let's also discuss how much more experience that gives you over new players. People say, dang, he or she's killing them, but you have a 25-year-old playing against a 20-year-old, so you should be killing them. That hype train has definitely stopped, though, because you've been doing it for a lot longer than they have. CLK, which probably takes about 40 shots per game right now. Publish a piece outlining this event. Perhaps they're attempting to fend off criticism and give the impression that they're genuinely supporting women in sports. But as you noted, the timing of this event is just too suspicious to ignore. I'm going to say this, and then I want to end the conversation so that people won't comment that I'm racist because I'm racist. Because, first of all, black people can't be racist. The Chicago Sky are excited to welcome Barbie to their arena, joining forces to champion women in sports and inspire young girls to pursue their athletic aspirations. Do you realize that Cheryl swoops in a respectful manner? You have no idea how that makes you look. You have no idea how that serves to stain any kind of critique of Caitlin Clark because that gives food to those who believe she's being hated on and ostracized to some degree. You're crazy to do that, and I'll tell you why. Cheryl Swoops is one of the best basketball players in history, as evidenced by the fact that you won a championship at College of Texas Tech, 3 gold medals at the Olympics, and WNBA titles. You are more knowledgeable about basketball than I am, more knowledgeable than any commentator, and more knowledgeable than the majority of men who play the sport. There is no way in hell that you just happen to omit Caitlin Clark's name from that soliloquy you made about the Indiana Fever. Stop it, Barbie. This brand, which encourages girls to aim high, is all about her trading in her heels for sneakers and showing off her various sports roles on the court, field, or track. But let's face it, this is being promoted as a way to encourage young women, and everyone is watching. Self-awareness is what I mean when I say that when you try to do something, keep in mind that they're watching so you can hit. You can sit there and do this to Boston, clipping her camera instead of her, unless Clark is a famous person. They'll see you doing it, so even if you do that to everyone, it doesn't matter. They're watching to see if you do it to her because it would be foolish of you to do it to her. The article continues by saying that as Barbie celebrates her 65th anniversary, the brand is encouraging fans from all teams to realize their potential and inviting them to participate in a year-long celebration, both on and off the court. Barbie Game Night will include promotions and activities that highlight the iconic Barbie brand, including fan content giveaways and other enjoyable events. You all know who they are. Right now, dumb, we all recognize it as a classic intimidation tactic, my friend. The WNBA is celebrating Barbie's 65th anniversary this year, which is pretty cool, but they chose to have a Barbie-themed night when Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever are in town because they want to highlight their star player. The whole point of the voting process is that you have to make difficult choices. And I do still believe that the choice is more difficult than you appear to believe. And I continue to believe that Caitlin Clark is the one because of everything I've said so far, but since people don't really do their homework, I'll remind them once more because it is more difficult to translate as a guard in the league right away. In addition to the historical material she is doing and the fact that she is so instrumental to what the Fever does and the idea that she is at. Although I still enjoy the debate, I believe that Caitlin Clark should win Rookie of the Year because of her leadership of her team to the postseason, how you contribute to your team, and what your contributions mean in terms of team success. Angel Reese's buzz has somewhat diminished, and the Chicago Sky realize that Caitlin Clark will steal the show, and they're not comfortable with that, so they're pulling out. They're trying to increase ticket sales and make sure Angel Reese stays the center of attention. I'm telling you, it's obvious they're trying to deflect attention from the fact that the Chicago Sky isn't living up to expectations. I've kept my thoughts to myself, but I have to admit that Angel Reese is an incredible player. The general manager said we're going to deck the floor out in pink and blue, make the seats pink and blue, and give out free Barbies. I'm sorry, but that's how I see it. Caitlin Clark of the Indiana Fever is coming to Chicago to dominate. Remember what I said? They're going to get their ass kicked, and I'm telling you that they're doing nothing but making this whole situation worse by making the court look like a Barbie dream house. I saw someone break down the release time, which is pretty much the same as mine, and then her confidence, which is unavoidable. Watching her play when she shoots from the range gives you the impression that she is a performer, but she is insane because her shot is so good, and at that level, Her floor game is also very impressive, so it's kind of the whole package. Her friends are breaking that record, and she has received so much attention over the past few years that every building she enters has a different energy. It's great for her. Great for women's basketball. Are you kidding me? You guys could have done this at any time. But you had to go and do it right before the big game that's going to motivate Caitlin Clark to come out there and show y'all who's boss on your own turf. Mark my words, bro. August 30th is a date I'm going to remember forever. I might even go live for that game, dog. The Chicago Sky is trying to sell tickets and ensure that Angel Reese's hype is still alive and well. But let me tell you that this game will be sold out, not because of Barbie Knight or Angel Reese, but rather because Caitlin Clark is coming to town, and you better believe it, from Canada. 2 drop scatting. And the Indiana Fever are about to give them a beating they won't soon forget because of this nonsense. That's a long walk, Canada. We drove 23 hours to see Caitlin Clark. She has already surpassed all WNBA rookies in assists and is on pace to break the overall single-season record. She made waves by setting a new record with 19 assists in a single game. But at the expense of her impressive assist totals, she leads the league in turnovers, averaging 5. On July 14th, she broke the record for single-season turnovers with 5 per game, reaching 138. Despite these turnovers, Clark's play on the court is good enough to keep her in the conversation for Rookie of the Year. Skip Biss noted this on his show, pointing out that even though Clark broke the record with 12 games left, many of her turnovers are nearly spectacular passes, and he commended her for leading the league in assists and making amazing performances as the season draws to a close. Clark will try to cut down on her turnovers tonight when the Indiana Fever play the Minnesota Lynx. This is a much-anticipated game because Minnesota is one of the top 3 teams in the league and Indiana is trying to raise its standings. Early in the game, Clark made headlines with a stunning crossover that sent Lynx guard Courtney Williams to the ground. The Fever shared this highlight on X, formerly Twitter, where it immediately gained popularity, garnering over 15,000 views, almost 2,000 likes, and more than 150 shares. Clark has made great progress during her rookie season, establishing herself as a candidate for Rookie of the Year, alongside Chicago Sky Angel Reese. You can see that Caitlin Clark is getting the crowd excited. If she keeps putting on amazing performances, she may win. Her influence is not limited to the WNBA. The 2024 All-Star Game, which included both Clark and Reese, drew 3 spectators. The Fever are now ranked 3rd in the Eastern Conference and 7th overall, with 4 million viewers, a 305% increase from the previous year, putting them in a strong position to qualify for the playoffs in Clark's debut season. Moore was questioned before to the game regarding according to Fever writer Chloe Peterson, the WNBA legend acknowledged that she doesn't really remember meeting Clark as a child because she has met a lot of kids over the years, but she still thinks it's cool that one of them ended up being Clark. It's really cool to think about how one of those kids became Caitlin Clark, she said. Clark first met Moore when she was just 10 years old, and Moore signed her shirt during that encounter. Although Moore is now retired, she is still considered a WNBA legend. She played from 2011 to 2018, and quickly made a name for herself as a superstar, finishing her career with averages of 18. Clark has frequently stated that Moore is one of her basketball heroes, and that she attempts to imitate her style of play. This makes it a special moment for Clark to compete against Minnesota on the night they retire Moore's jersey. 4 out of 5, 3 and 9 rebounds, 3 assists per game and a strong 45% shooting rate, 38 and 3% from the field. Her outstanding statistics, which included a 4% three-point shooting percentage, made her one of the finest players in WNBA history. Her list of accomplishments is even more astounding. Won 4 WNBA titles, was named Rookie of the Year in 2011, helped 6 All-Star teams win 2 Finals MVP awards in 2013 and 2014, and was chosen for the All-WNBA First Team 5 times. In a selfless act, she gave 350 Nike backpacks full of school supplies to kids in the Des Moines area through her foundation. According to Keith Murphy of W13 News, the kids were beaming as they snapped selfies with Clark while they were getting their donations. When the Indiana Fever tipped back off on that Friday and this past Sunday too, more than 1 million people nationwide watched Ion together. With 2 million viewers, I believe it's the 4th largest viewership for the WNBA. This past Sunday, the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark had even higher ratings during the national primetime slot on CBS. We're also starting to see the start of the football season, which starts this weekend. Thursday night football won't be a factor when college football kicks off, but Friday night will be the first head-to-head game. I think it's September 6th, and it's Green Bay versus Philadelphia in Brazil on Peacock Friday night NFL Football Week 1. Indiana Fever will also be in full swing, so you can bet that it will be a nationally televised game that we can compare well. Going to be able to compare it 4 times during the WNBA playoffs at the end of the regular season is where they made a mistake last year. They faced the NFL on Sunday afternoon for the WNBA Finals, and they need to reconsider the schedule and structure. The video of this event went viral, receiving over 140,000 views, 4,000 likes, and 500 shares on X, formerly Twitter, in just 2 hours. Clark is not just a standout player, but also a role model, demonstrating her commitment to giving back to her community by discussing what has been a recurring theme throughout the year and pointing out those who have expressed what she believes to be hatred toward Caitlin Clark. As someone who has already entered this space and been called many names by those in the media, Caitlin Clark has become such a lightning rod that in many ways I'm going to compare it to, you're not allowed to use his name, but her donation made many happy, especially with Voldemort and Harry Potter. With school starting soon, it will be fantastic. Method via which demo students prepare for